What's up, poker players? Hope you guys are crushing the tables. Today, we're going to take a look at my session from last night. I started binge watching Stranger Things. That show got me hooked. Next thing I know, I've been on the tables for over 8 hours. But I got a lot of great spots, some interesting hands, some big hands that we'll take a look at here in a second. Biggest hand of the night came with this one, Pocket Kings in Under the Gun +2. We have a min raise from Under the Gun. I make it $350 to go, 3.5 times his original bet, and he makes a call. Flop is 10 high rainbow. He leads out to me. I don't want to give away my hand value right now, so I'm just going to make a call here, and he leads again on the turn. At this point, I think there's a good chance he could have hit a set of 10s, maybe a set of 7s. I didn't think 6-7 was going to be in his range, but we do see that this is a pretty loose player, high VPIP, very high aggression rate, so I guess he could be betting a lot of hands the same way. So I just make a call on the turn, and after that turn bet, I pretty much decide my kings are just going to be showdown value until I hit that king on the river. Now, I'm going to try to get all of my chips in the pot, and he comes out and bets a half pot. I go all in, he immediately makes a call, and I wind up picking up a big pot right there. That's a big river for me. 6-7 was not the hand that I thought I was going to see at showdown, but hey, I'll take it. Next hand we're looking at is Ace King in the small blind. We are on a 10 NL table. We have an open raise from the cutoff to 3.5x. I'm going to be 4-betting here in the small blind. I make it $1.35. I raise him $1, and he immediately makes a call. We flop top pair, top kicker, and I slow down right here. This is just like one of those examples that I showed you in the continuation bet report yesterday. If you want to head back to that video, here is the link. And so I let him continuation bet with a hand that he really doesn't have very many outs with. So he puts $2 in there. I just make a call. The turn is 7. I check back to him again, and this time he checks back as well. The river is another king. This essentially gives me the nuts right here, and I think that maybe we could get a pair from 7s to kings to make a call here. Maybe this player bet a 6 on the flop. I see that he has a low bet percentage on the river, so I decide not to check and try to bluff and deuce, but instead to try to make any kind of showdown value hand that he could have pay for it. So I jam all in, and he does something absolutely ridiculous and makes a call with a queen high right here. I guess he could have put me on a complete missed straight or flush draw there, but I mean, what are you really going to be beating here calling with queen high? I mean, I appreciate it from a player who puts in pretty big volume. I think this is a pretty loose call right here, but hey, thanks, you paid me off. That was my second biggest big blind hand of the night. Maybe it was a misclick. Next hand we're looking at is Pocket Kings from the button. We have a middle position raise to 3x. I'm going to be 4-betting here on the button. I make it 4.33 times the original open, and we get a jam all in from Pad Poker. And this guy, we've gotten in a couple big hands lately, and a lot of the times he does this with just an ace blank. He's done it with an ace jack, where I think I've gotten it in with him with like an ace king, I think a video ago or 2 videos ago, and I'm never gonna get rid of kings right here. So I do make a call. He has a ton of outs there on the flop. I hit a king on the turn and wind up picking up a big pot right there. Next hand we're looking at is King 10 from the hijack seat. We are at a 5 NL table. I open a 3x. We get a call on the button and the small blind, and I wind up flopping a straight. There's 50 cents in the pot. The small blind leads out for a half pot, and I raise here. This is one of those boards that you can connect with pretty heavily. There's a good chance that one of these players has something like a king queen, jack queen, or an ace queen that probably will find it very hard to get away from, and therefore I'm not going to be slow playing my straight on this board. And he does call my raise, winds up hitting his top 2 pair on the turn. He's already pot committed right here, so I'm not going to slow down at all. He checks to me on the turn. I bet a little bit less than 2/3 of the pot, and he jams all in with his top 2. I've got the Broadway straight now. I make a call and wind up picking up a big pot right there. Next hand we're looking at is Ace King from Under the Gun +1. I make a 3x open, and we get called from the dealer button and the small blind. Flop is ace high, 2-tone. I have backdoor flush draws and top pair, top kicker. The flop is checked to us, and we make a little bit bigger than a half pot size bet right here. It's a pretty draw heavy board, and I didn't want to give away any free cards right there. Now now on the turn, we are one card from our nut flush, and we still have top pair, top kicker. But I see that this player has a 100% fold to turn bet and 75% bet on turn. So I think we're going to get a little bit more value out of letting this player bluff away most of his range on the turn, which is what he does. So he bets 4, and I just make a call. The river is a jack. Again, this player has a 100% fold to river bet and an 80% bet on river, which is very, very high for both of those numbers. So again, I'm just going to let him bluff away most of his range. And I know that I'm, probably going to get folds from most of his range when I bet into him there. So we just checked back the river, and he jams all in. This is kind of a tough spot. He's representing a flush or a possible straight right here. I mean, there is a lot of cards out there that could beat us, but this player isn't a regular. He's been pretty fishy so far, and I think my top pair, top kicker is going to be ahead of most of his range. So I make a call here, and he winds up just showing 6s, and we pick up a fairly large pot right there. Now we're looking at pocket 9s on the button. We have an under the gun +1 raised to 3x and a call to his left. I just make a call on the button. The blinds call as well. There's 5 of us that see the flop. We wind up flopping bottom set. The small blind leads out to a little bit less than half pot, and we get a call from the middle position player. I just make a call here to slow play a little bit. There's now $3.63 in the pot. We have about $9 behind us, and that is our effective stack against these players as well. This time, the middle position player bets about a little bit less than half pot again. I just make a call here. I don't want to force this player out as well. This player leading out on the flop probably has some kind of ace hand, so I don't see him getting away from a half pot size bet right here. And he does make a call. The river is a 6. Probably didn't help out anyone's hand right here. And when the middle position player checks back to us, I know that he doesn't have a Broadway straight. That would have continuation bet the river as well. But now I need to find a bet sizing that I am going to get the most value from. My stack is a little bit less than the pot. Do I think that an ace could call when I jam right here? It's possible. There's a good possibility that one of these players could have been playing an ace 10 maybe. For 2 pair, an ace 9 we can get a ton of value from. And there's a possibility that they couldn't get away from just one of their ace rag hands. So I jam all in right here. These players are still getting better than 2-1 on their call, and they both wind up folding, which is unfortunate, but I do pick up a big pot. I think I probably could have got more had I bet less on the river. What do you guys think about that river bet? Should I have made it a little bit more affordable, bet like half pot, maybe a little bit more than half pot? That way we still could have picked up, something like 50 big blinds. I think that river bet could have been a small mistake. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Now we're looking at ace king from the hijack seat. We have an open raise to 30 cents to our right from a non-regular player. Pretty good numbers so far, pretty tight, low aggression, doesn't bet much post flop. So I make it 3.33 times his bet, and he does make a call. We're at a 10 and L table. We both have pretty deep stacks, over 100 big blinds each, and I wind up flopping top pair, top kicker. There's 215 in the pot. He has a 55% fold to flop bet. So I just checked back. This is a really dry board right here, and there aren't many outs. There are a couple straight draws that this player could possibly be playing, but I'm gonna give him a free card right there and hopefully induce some kind of bet here on the turn, or possible call with a lower pair that could be open calling pre-flop. No more slow playing though. I bet a little bit less than 2/3 of the pot on the turn, and he does make a call. There's now 487 in the pot. He checks back the river, and again I want to find a good size bet right here that he is going to call with, some kind of pair that is lower than kings. He does have a low fold to river bet percentage here, so I think we can make a pretty large size bet here and still get him to call. So I make it about 3/4 of the pot, a little bit less than 3/4. It's 340 to call, and he does make a call. We do not know what he had on that hand. My guess is it's somewhere in between 9s and kings, probably 10s, jacks. I think we got the most value out of that hand as we could, unless I bet the flop for a small amount to build a pot there. Next hand we're looking at is pocket kings from the small blind. We're at a 25 NL table. We get an open from the hijack seat, a call from the button, and I 3-bet here to 4.33 times the the open raise. This one I probably could have bet less, although we do have a very high VPIP and 57% here from this button player. This is a short stack table, so you have to make some adjustments to your bet sizing so that you can plan out your sizes accordingly. That 3-bet size right there pretty much pot committed both of us if he does make a call. So I think I should have made it a little bit smaller to try to induce some players to make calls here. We wind up flopping a one-tone board, all diamonds. We do have the king of diamonds. I just bet half pot. He jams all in. I'm not going to get away from this hand. And he winds up showing the flush draw here. And somehow we do avoid the flush. A lot of hands were running our way in this session. I actually wound up negative variance for the session. It was pretty close, but wound up a little bit negative variance. So I guess I could have won almost $75 instead of 45, but I'll take it. That's a pretty good session. A lot of hands, long duration. I was really into that show. Check it out, you guys. New series on Netflix, Stranger Things. Give you guys a plug right there. If you want to review your sessions just like this, download Hold'em Manager. The link is in the video description. I do all my poker play on America's Card Room. The link is down in the video description as well. Use promo code DKPoker, one word. Here's the code. That will get you a $1,000 deposit bonus as well as 50 tournament bucks. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you guys have not done that yet. We've got a ton of new subscribers. Thank you guys for hitting subscribe. Hope you guys are enjoying the content. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I'll be back very soon with a new video. But until then, I'll see you guys out on the virtual felt.